On a fog-laden evening along Route 44 in Rehoboth, Massachusetts, I first saw him. I live at, well, he didn't give me his name, but I remember the red flannel shirt, the long red hair, the beard, the silence, and the strange emptiness in his eyes. That was the night I picked up a hitchhiker, and everything else began. I tell this now in hindsight, trying to recall exactly what happened, because the memory keeps looping, keeps whispering through my sleep with cold intensity. Night 1. I was driving home late, fatigue heavy in my limbs. A figure stood silhouetted in the mist by the side of the road. I slowed and offered a ride. He slid into the back seat without a word, just pointed ahead down Route 44. The road was silent, save the faint hum of tires and distant fog-soft wind. I asked his destination. No answer. I asked if he was cold. He said nothing. The rearview mirror caught his reflection, the dark, empty eyes that weren't quite eyes. When I glanced back to check, he'd vanished. The back seat was empty. I stopped, heart pounding. I checked the rear doors. Nothing. No sign he'd ever been there. I learned afterward this matched dozens of accounts of a red-headed ghost hitchhiker reported over decades on Route 44. He only rides in back, he never speaks, and he disappears mid-journey into thin air. This legend wasn't local to me, but widely known in Rehoboth, sometimes called the red-headed hitchhiker or the phantom of Route 44. Night 2. I returned, irrationally drawn. The fog was thicker, swallowing headlights. No figure, nothing. But as I drove past the stretch where I'd first stopped, my radio crackled. Static, then faint laughter. Not mine, low and distorted, echoing my name though I hadn't said it aloud. I slammed brakes. The car died. I sat, shaking. After a minute, everything snapped back. The engine, the radio, and gone was the laughter. I convinced myself it was fatigue or an overloaded circuit. Over the next days 3 to 5. At home, I felt watched. Shadows shifted at corners of my vision. Cold spots formed in places on the floor that stayed frigid no matter the heat. I'd wake at 3:14 a.m. with a sense of presence just beyond the doorway. I'd call to my partner Sam, but get no answer. Sam's been my friend and roommate for over 2 years, but Sam started to change. Sam's mental decline, first subtle. Night 4, Sam couldn't sleep, eyes darting, whispering about footsteps outside our windows. Night 5, Sam insisted there was someone on the stairs shaking the door handle, but no one. I tried comfort, logical reassurance, but Sam armed himself with a flashlight and stayed awake all night. Fear spiraled us both. Night 6. I drove out again. I picked up a hitchhiker. Same figure, same motion to the back seat, but this time, the fog was oppressive. My headlights barely penetrated 20 feet. I kept the mirror on the road, but once again, I glanced back and he was gone. Then I heard Sam's voice over the radio, trembling, terrified, almost desperate. "Don't do it. Don't come back. It's here." But Sam had been home alone. I tried the phone, dead. I drove back with radio static, and when I pulled into the driveway, Sam stood at the door, pale, haggard, crying. From that night onward, reality fragmented. Sam locked themselves in a room, refusing to speak except in whispers about him. I began hearing scratching at the walls, sobbing at night. The temperature dropped in the hallway, my breath visible in waves. I'd see red flannel shirts hanging in closets that disappeared when I walked over. Mirrors would fog and then clear to reflect someone standing behind me, but empty space. Every event escalated. A chain on the doorknob rattled at 2:13 a.m. exactly. A silhouette pacing on the lawn outside, faint outlines through curtains. A figure at the intersection of fog and streetlight. It looked like the same hitchhiker, but when I approached, nothing. The street was empty. Meanwhile, Sam's behavior worsened. Paranoia bloomed. Sam claimed to hear voices calling their name in every whisper of wind, claimed to see the flicker of a candle that vanished when approached. I suggested professional help, but Sam grew convinced I was part of it too, that the thing had infiltrated me. Trust collapsed. I felt torn between caring and fear. Then came the climax. One terrible night I found Sam gone. The room was empty, window open onto the lawn. The flashlight lay on the floor, its beam dead. On the sill, a red flannel knit scarf, tiny, child-sized, crumbled under my grip into dust. I recognized it. The scarf the hitchhiker had draped over the seat edge on night 3, or maybe night 6. I hadn't seen it until now. My hands trembled. I ran outside into freezing fog, my breath fogged, every sound muffled. I called Sam's name. I followed footprints in the grass, barely visible, ending at the tree line where the mist swallowed them. I heard laughter again, distant, both close and far, echoing all around me. The hair on my arms stood. I saw a flash of red hair behind a gravestone, or thought I did. When I reached it, nothing, only the scarf dust sinking into mud. The next day, Sam never returned. I have no proof of what happened. Police searched the area near the road and nearby small cemeteries, but found no signs. Locals refused to talk. They said Sam was not the first to go missing after chasing the ghost of Route 44. For weeks after, I tried to convince myself it was grief, exhaustion, hallucination, but then evidence haunted me. At home, the lights would flicker at 3:14 every night. My radio sometimes bursts to life in the silence with static laughter. I find tiny crumbs of red flannel dust in corners, as if it's everywhere. And sometimes in stillness, when I look at the passenger seat, I swear I see an outline, just the fabric shape, empty inside. Tonight I drive that road again, even though I know there's no one else at my side. I hear the tires hum. The mist rolls against the windshield. The road ahead is silent. I feel a presence behind me and the hairs on my neck prick. I know he is there, but I don't know if I'll ever see him again, in the mirror or in reality, because maybe the hitchhiker never leaves your back seat after the first ride. Maybe he stays, maybe he took Sam, maybe he's waiting for me to glance back again, and the scarf dust will still be there, dissolving in my hands. I don't finish the journey tonight. I park halfway along the old stretch where streetlights fade into fog and sit. The inside is cold. My breath puffs in the dim glow. I whisper into the hush, "Are you here?" Silence, then static, then laughter. Soft, human, but not quite human, echoing from the back. I don't look yet. I don't want to. I won't. I close my eyes and imagine the red hair reflected in the glass. I sense a hand on my shoulder, but there's no one there. Or maybe there is. I don't know, but I can feel him. And I still carry that scarf dust in my pocket. My hands tremble as I end this telling. I can't say if I'll ever leave Route 44 behind, or if I ever truly left it already. If you drive that road, be cautious. If someone offers a ride, think twice, because he might vanish. But the worst part is, he might stay. The road hums, the fog thickens. I feel breath behind me, but no one speaks. And still, I dare not look.